حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Members of the city's Arab, Middle Eastern, Muslim, and South Asian communities held a demonstration outside San Francisco City Hall on March 30th, drawing attention to what they say is invasive anti-terrorist intelligence gathering by the FBI with the help of the SFPD. Documents recently obtained by the ACLU of Northern California, the Asian Law Caucus, and the San Francisco Bay Guardian newspaper show the FBI has routinely carried out mosque outreach targeting Bay Area Muslims.
How random it is that in every mosque, the standard operating procedure, there is somebody in there from Big Brother that is listening to what we have to say. What is the value of religious freedom if we have our mosques and our institutions being sent spies to spy on? And it's not okay for our police department to sign a memorandum of understanding behind our back to actually facilitate the relationship for spying on our own community. We pay their...
That was UC Berkeley professor Dr. Hatem Bazian. The Coalition for a Safe San Francisco demonstrated March 30th in support of local legislation aimed at bringing transparency and accountability to the SFPD's relationship with the FBI. Asian Law Caucus attorney Nazrina Bargzi described intelligence gathering practices in San Francisco.
The FBI has been using community outreach to collect and illegally store intelligence information on Americans' political and religious beliefs. In San Francisco, the FBI has been engaging in unconstitutional racial profiling and racial mapping of the Arab, Middle Eastern, Muslim, and South Asian community, but also of the Chinese and Russian communities. And in San Francisco, the FBI has been using anti-Arab and anti-Muslim counterterrorism training materials. In fact, just a few days ago, we released a new set of documents showing more outreach in San Francisco and the South Bay to mosques and community centers that were then used as intelligence. This is an affront on religious liberty, equal protection of the law, and violates Federal Privacy Act prohibitions against the maintenance of records about individuals' First Amendment protected activity. And it undermines the trust and mutual understanding necessary to effective law enforcement. Our community needs to trust the SFPD. How can we do that if SFPD is subject to federal rules under a binding contract with the FBI and the FBI has betrayed our communities?
Supervisor Jane Kim introduced the ordinance she authored.
This is not a tale of the 30s or the 70s or a tale of what's happening in New York City or New Jersey. We know that this type of activity is happening here in San Francisco, and it's happening now. We want to ensure that today and in the future that at least our San Francisco employees that we pay with our taxpayer dollars do not engage in these type of activities that we strongly believe are unjust. Innocent citizens who, if they had been a different skin color or practice a different religious belief, should be angry and insulted that they are being targeted for this type of intelligence gathering. And the whole concept that intelligence gathering should take place in these communities is insulting to us and insulting to our intelligence.
Asian Law Caucus Executive Director Hyun-Ju Roh talked about national civil rights issues brought about by the expansion of Homeland Security over the past decade.
What we're seeing since 9/11 is essentially legalization of racial profiling in the context of anti-terrorism investigations. And even though there has been a lot of advocacy at the national level, we're not seeing the kind of leadership from our national government leaders to really protect our fundamental rights, protect our civil liberties, and to ensure that we're not turning into a country that says it's okay to profile people, to investigate people purely based on how they look, where they're from, what their name is. The model that we've established here in San Francisco, the model that they've established in Portland, I think absolutely can be a starting point for communities across the country that want to take a stand and say we want to protect our communities.
San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee vetoed SafeSF's first attempt at the legislation. The mayor and the coalition then drafted less specific compromise legislation mandating that the SFPD follow city and state law when participating in the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. Some civilian oversight, all financial restrictions, and direct codifying of SFPD general orders that prohibit intelligence gathering without reasonable suspicion of criminality were stripped from the ordinance. Arab American civil rights activist Adel Samaha described the FBI's impact on his community and talked about the difference between the two versions of the Safe San Francisco Civil Rights Ordinance.
Basically, they just try to set them up and try to terrorize their life To be honest with you, what the FBI does today is just that they turn our community environment to a war zone for no reason. So the first ordinance was stronger, was detailed. The new one, it's not strong as the first one, but it's okay to start with. We're going to continue working. We're going to try to continue monitoring the police department, and will ensure that they follow their word.
For New America Media, this is Alex Emsley, reporting from San Francisco.